Boston Beer Company was founded by Jim Koch, a sixth-generation brewer, starting with his great-great-great-grandfather, Louis Koch, who founded the Cincinnati brewery that later became part of the famous Hudepohl Brewing Company. Jim's father, Charles Koch, had apprenticed there in the 1940s, where he helped develop popular beer brands such as Hudepohl Gold and Little King's Cream Ale. After completing his studies at Harvard University, where he earned both a law degree and an MBA, Jim pursued a successful career in management consulting. He spent 6 years with the Boston Consulting Group, but eventually realized that his true passion lay in brewing and beer. Following his decision to quit his job, his life blew up. His wife, who didn't believe in his dream of starting a brewery, divorced him and eventually kicked him out of the house. However, he found himself feeling energized. Jim shared his dream with his father, who then took him up to the attic and revealed an old trunk containing the family's cherished recipes. To his delight, the recipes called for hops still grown in Bavaria, just north of Munich, Germany. The next step was to come up with a name for the brewery. He first considered naming it after his great-great-great-grandfather, Louis Koch, as Louis Koch Lager. However, a friend warned him that the name might be mispronounced, so he sought the help of an advertising agency. They suggested the name Sacred Cod, which is a symbol of the state's fishing industry and a fixture in the Massachusetts State House since the early 18th century. But Jim felt it didn't quite fit. He then narrowed down the options to 6 names: Golden Oak, Joy Street, Liberty Tree, James Otis, New World, and Sam Adams. The latter two were his top choices. Koch's goal was to spark a beer revolution in America, as he was frustrated that American beer was often considered weak and watery compared to European brews. The historical significance of Sam Adams, one of the founding fathers who played a crucial role in igniting the American Revolution, deeply resonated with Jim Koch's mission. As a tribute to this iconic figure, Jim chose the name Sam Adams for his brewery. In 1984, Jim Koch and his co-founder, Rhonda Coleman, brewed the first batch of Sam Adams Boston Lager in Jim's kitchen. In the early days, Jim faced rejection from beer distributors, who were responsible for selling to retailers such as bars, restaurant, and liquor stores. Despite having no sales, he purchased a computer for his fledgling company. His uncle advised him to focus on acquiring customers before worrying about anything else. With no office, no phone, only an answering service, Jim hit the streets of Boston, visiting bars and attempting to sell his beer. Despite facing a 95% rejection rate, he refused to give up on his dream, and after 5 long months of persistence, his efforts finally began to pay off and the business started to flourish. And in 1985, Samuel Adams Boston Lager played a crucial role in igniting the craft beer revolution in America. Its introduction over Patriots' Day weekend, which commemorates the first battle of the American Revolution and is now famous for the Boston Marathon. Samuel Adams Boston Lager quickly gained popularity and was named Best Beer in America at the Great American Beer Festival just 6 weeks after its launch. In 1987, the Boston Beer Company's first brewery was situated in Jamaica Plain, a Boston neighborhood. The brewery was quite small in the original Heffenreffer Brewery building, which was constructed in 1870, had an area of only about 5,000 square feet. In 1988, Samuel Adams Boston Lager was one of the first beers to prominently display a freshness date on its bottles, indicating the date by which the beer should be consumed for optimal quality. This was a significant innovation at the time and helped to establish the beer's reputation for quality and freshness. And in 1995, the Boston Beer Company went public on the New York Stock Exchange to raise capital for expansion and growth. By going public, the company was able to sell shares of ownership to the public, thereby raising funds that could be used to finance new breweries and equipment. In 1997, Samuel Adams acquired the Cincinnati-based Hudepohl Brewing Company, previously owned by Lewis Koch. To pay tribute to his father Charles and Lewis, their names were engraved on the copper kettles. The flagship production facility of Samuel Adams is situated in the historical Over-the-Rhine neighborhood with the capacity to produce over 2 million barrels of beer annually. In 2007 was the introduction of the Samuel Adams Boston Lager Pint Glass. Jim and the brewing team collaborated with esteemed sensory and glassware experts, TIAX Sensory and Rostel, to design a glass that not only sustains the beer's head, but also intensifies its aroma and maintains its ideal temperature. And in 2008, the Boston Beer Company took ownership of a world-class brewery located in Brainsville, Pennsylvania. It is one of the company's 3 main brewing facilities and is located on a 78-acre site. Later that same year was the only instance in which the Boston Beer Company nearly met its end was when a defect in the bottle manufacturing process resulted in roughly 1 out of every 5,000 bottles containing small pieces of glass that could fall into the beer. Despite the financial implications of a recall, Jim knew that he had to do the right thing and ordered the recall of 25 million bottles, a decision that cost the company a staggering $25 million. On the brighter side, the company launched a program called Brewing the American Dream to provide resources and mentorship to small food and beverage businesses, from food trucks and bakeries to breweries and distilleries. The program has provided over $97 million in loans to more than 14,000 small businesses across the United States. In 2011, Jim collaborated with his longtime friend and fellow brewer, Alan Newman, to establish the Alchemy and Science Brewing Collaborative. The collaborative was created with the objective of identifying gaps in the craft brewing market and acquire craft breweries to fill those gaps. As a result, they acquired Angel City Craft Brewery and Traveler Brands. In 2014, the Boston Beer Company celebrates its 30th anniversary and announces that it has sold over 4 million barrels of beer in the previous year. In 2015, A&S opened in the Coney Island Brewery, located in Coney Island neighborhood of Brooklyn. And in November of the same year, Boston Beer opened the Angry Orchard and Innovation Cider House in Walden, New York. And in 2018, Samuel Adams Boston Taproom opens at Faneuil Hall and is situated at 60 State Street, Boston, which is within walking distance of Quincy Market. The taproom features a variety of Sam Adams beers on tap, as well as a menu of food items. Later that year, Sam Adams Cincinnati Taproom opens at 1727 Logan Street, Cincinnati, Ohio, offering the same with beer and food items. And in 2019, the Boston Beer Company acquired Dogfish Head Brewery for $300 million in cash and stock. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you could show your appreciation, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. And today I want to thank my wife for going on all these adventures with me. Thank you. Cheers.